Carly Gregg, a teenage girl from Mississippi, is standing trial for the alleged murder of her mother and the attempted murder of her stepfather. At just 14 years old at the time of the crime, Carly is accused of shooting her mother, Ashley Smylie, in their home in March and attempting to lure her stepfather, Heath Smylie, back to the house to shoot him as well. In court, a shocking moment occurred as Carly was seen covering her mouth and giggling, seemingly amused during the proceedings. This unsettling behavior occurred on day 4 of the trial and was captured on a live stream, though the exact cause of her laughter is unclear. Carly's legal defense team has rejected a plea deal of 40 years in prison, opting instead to pursue an insanity defense. Her behavior during the trial, including the giggling, has contributed to discussions about her mental state. The teenager is facing charges of murder, attempted murder, and evidence tampering, and if convicted, she could face life in prison. The incident allegedly began on March 19 when Carly shot her mother in the face in their family home. Prosecutors claim Carly then used her mother's phone to send a text to her stepfather, asking, "When will you be home, honey?" in an attempt to lure him back to the house. When Heath arrived, Carly allegedly shot at him twice, striking him in the shoulder. Despite the injury, Heath managed to wrestle the gun away from her before she could fire more shots, causing Carly to flee the scene. Afterward, she reportedly contacted a friend and asked if they had ever seen a dead body, leading them to her mother's body. Throughout the trial, Carly's mental health has been a central issue. Rebecca Kirk, a licensed professional counselor who had seen Carly 9 times in the weeks leading up to the crime, testified about the teenager's behavior during their sessions. Kirk described Carly as an intelligent and gifted student who had a love for learning. However, she also suggested that Carly's intellectual abilities may have contributed to feelings of isolation. Kirk shared that Carly had mentioned plans to read Crime and Punishment, a classic novel by Fyodor Dostoevsky, just weeks before the shooting. The book tells the story of a man who justifies committing murder based on his belief that extraordinary individuals are entitled to kill for the greater good. Though Carly never actually read the book, its mention in their sessions raised questions about her thought process leading up to the crime. Kirk explained that Carly was proud of her intelligence but also struggled with feelings of loneliness due to her giftedness. This testimony painted a picture of a teenager grappling with complex emotions and possibly developing dangerous ideologies. The defense has sought to use this information to support their argument that Carly was suffering from mental illness at the time of the crime. On the day of the shooting, Carly's stepfather Heath Smylie described the terrifying sequence of events. He testified that when he entered the kitchen, Carly fired a shot at him from behind the door, narrowly missing his face. He recalled how she shot at him twice more, but he managed to grab the gun after the first shot and twist it out of her hands. Heath also testified about his shock and disbelief when he saw his wife's lifeless body, covered in blood, upon entering the house. He recounted how Carly had once been a sweet little girl but looked as if she had seen a demon on the day of the shooting. The court also heard from psychiatrist Dr. Andrew Clark, who testified that Carly may have blacked out for up to 90 minutes during the crime. Dr. Clark suggested that Carly could have been experiencing auditory hallucinations for years, though she had never reported hearing commands from the voices in her head. He also noted that Carly had been using marijuana several times a week and was concerned about her mother discovering this. Carly had also been prescribed medications like Lexapro and Zoloft, which are typically used to treat mood disorders. Dr. Clark acknowledged that Carly's position as a defendant could create a motive to fake mental illness in order to avoid full responsibility for her actions. However, the defense continues to argue that Carly's mental state at the time of the shooting was compromised, pointing to her reported hallucinations, blackouts, and erratic behavior. During the trial, the jury was shown surveillance footage from inside the home, captured just moments after the shooting. The video showed Carly wandering through the kitchen, wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, and texting on her phone as her 2 dogs watched. She is seen pacing up and down the corridor and briefly disappearing off camera before returning with something behind her back. Moments later, 3 gunshots are heard. After the first shot, a woman's scream is audible, followed by silence. Carly then reappears on camera, calmly sitting on a stool near the kitchen counter and continuing to text on her phone, seemingly unfazed by the violence that had just occurred. The trial has also highlighted Carly's interaction with a friend following the crime. After fleeing the house, Carly reportedly texted a friend, asking them to come over due to an emergency. When the friend arrived, Carly allegedly asked them, "Have you ever seen a dead body before?" and led them to her mother's body, further showcasing her chilling demeanor in the aftermath of the tragedy. As the trial progresses, the defense is attempting to establish that Carly was suffering from severe mental health issues at the time of the shooting. However, the prosecution has painted a starkly different picture, portraying Carly as a calculating teenager who carefully planned the murder of her mother and attempted to kill her stepfather. The text sent to Heath from her mother's phone and the methodical nature of the attacks suggest premeditation, according to prosecutors. Carly Gregg's trial has captivated public attention due to the shocking nature of the crime and the unsettling behavior she has displayed in court. Her giggling during the proceedings, coupled with the disturbing details of the case, has only added to the sense of unease surrounding the trial. With the possibility of a life sentence looming, Carly's fate now rests in the hands of the court as the trial continues to unfold. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more updates on celebrity deaths and news updates.